Hey there, this is Hope and Unification Inside. Welcome, it's good to see you here. In this video, we're talking about the biggest twin flame myths. I'm just gonna start real quick with what a twin flame is. So the easiest way to explain what a twin flame is it's your identical energy vibration in another human. And so that leads us kind of into some of the myths. A lot of people hear about twin flames and they just transcribe it as a soulmate or a better version of a soulmate, which of course we all want to find a really great partner in life, but that's not quite what this journey is all about. The biggest myths, I'll just start right away, is that everyone has one incarnated. That is a huge, as a society, we're taught to look for our soulmate and our partner and our wife or a husband, and that being in a relationship is what is really important and blah, blah, blah. Even though 50% of the population is single and divorce is still 50%. So, there's a myth out there that everyone has a twin flame incarnated and you don't. Everyone does actually have a twin flame, but most of our lives that we live, if you believe in reincarnation, or most of the time, this person is not incarnated with this other soul. This other part of your soul is not actually incarnated in with you. So it's very, very rare to actually be an incarnated twin flame right now on planet Earth. So that's the number one myth that I'd like people to realize is that yes, everyone does have a twin flame. The thing about it, is that we are all part of the same soup. We all split from source energy. Everything in the whole universe is split from source. So if you I don't know if you've seen Guardians of the Galaxy 2, but Peter's dad, spoiler alert, he meets his dad and his name is Ego, and then Ego was floating aimlessly in outer space or whatever in the universe and created a body and a planet and life from his own thoughts. That's basically what spirituality is. That's basically what people who are spiritual believe, and that source, God, whatever word you want to put on it, creates everything, and that's why your thoughts create reality. So we all are technically part of that same source energy, and the twin flame is a masculine and feminine polarity. It's split into polarity to cause, well, I don't want to say to cause conflict. That's not quite the right verbiage. Basically, you have a feminine and a masculine polarity, and it's not the same as a male and a female body. Those are different. So this is where it gets confusing online for a lot of people. And this is why a lot of, you see most of the groups, it's mostly female bodies calling themselves a divine feminine. That's not exactly how it works. From the people that I've connected with, and I'd love to talk to more authentic twin flames, from the people I've been able to root out and connect with that I feel are definitely on the twin flame journey in this life, most of the time it's the opposite. It's a feminine, like I'm a female, but I'm definitely the divine masculine of our connection, and my counterpart has been he's been living his life from his feminine side. So I'm finding that we are the opposite in the ones that I've met so far. And I'd love to hear down in the comments how you feel about that. But so that gets me to another one of my points, is that there's the divine feminine versus the divine masculine. Well, you're both. We have both inside. There's a book. Actually, I pulled it out because I'm going to do a book report video next. I'll just grab it. There's this book, Bringers of the Dawn, Teachings from the Pleiadians by Barbara Messiniak. And in this one, they talk about, and again, I'll just make this another thing, but the balance of the twin flame is actually an inner flame, the inner masculine and the inner feminine flames that each of us have, which is why I always talk about that on this channel. So anyway, that's my point is, yes, everyone has a twin flame, but most people talking about it online aren't incarnated with their twin flame right now. So that's I guess this could just be its own video, so let me move on. Another video I just launched was, and this is another myth, is that you can manifest meeting a twin flame. And I see that question a lot in Quora, that how do I meet my twin flame? Well, that's just not how it works. If you're actually incarnated with your twin flame, that is all divinely orchestrated by source, by your higher selves, by your guide teams. And you and your twin flame as souls, before you became physically in a body, you planned out the broad brushstrokes of your life already. So if you are a twin flame, you're going to meet this person in the real world at some point in your life. That's the way it goes. And again, most of the I would say all the twin flames I've met, the real ones, and again, I'm not, the end all be all expert, but we all met our person when we were really young, like teens, late teens, college. And then we went in our separate ways and had a lot of life experience, which only reiterates the fact that this draw to this person, like why it's so different. So there are a lot of people that talk about meeting later in life after marriages and stuff, but I don't personally I think they might be another type of high level soul connection, maybe with a different label maybe, but the people that I've met and resonated with and talked to online, we all met our person really early, and then we've gone and lived our lives, and the universe keeps bringing us back into reunions every handful of years as a reminder of what we're here to do. And I've got a lot of videos on my Twin Flame playlist about my journey of 30 years of this separation. It's not fully separation, but so you can't really manifest meeting a twin flame. Like, so if you're searching for your twin flame, it's probably because you already got the term and you think it's a better version of a soulmate, and that's not what this is. It's not meant to be your ultimate life partner. That's the way it comes across online when you hear unconditional love and your other half and all that stuff. It comes across that way, but that's not the point of this journey. It's definitely an ascension partner. So the other thing, another myth I want to bust is that you can quicken union through meditation and manifesting in people's courses. You can clear out a lot of stuff and gunk, and you can accelerate your own ascension through that stuff. I've personally gone through some courses from some healers, quantum healing, but that was after I'd already been doing this for 30 years. That's after I've already, my whole life. I'm almost 50, and my whole life I've been unlearning the stuff that my parents taught me. I've always was like the one in the family that's done different things than others, the template breaker, as I like to call it on my channel. So you can do that, but no one can guarantee your union. And the people who say that you're going to get in union and they're going to call you like in 5 minutes, that's not how this works. It might work for a different type of soul connection, but not with a twin flame. With a twin flame, it's just different. You definitely can delay it and slow it down. That's for sure, by not choosing the right path for you, if you're doing anything that's running, which I have done, and so has my counterpart, but you can't really get there quicker through someone's course, but you definitely can feel better, and you can heal stuff inside of you. You can definitely do cord cuttings and clean out your chakras, and I highly recommend all of that stuff. Go and learn how to talk to your guides. Go and learn how, and that's where courses can really help. But anybody that's selling you their course because they're guaranteeing you union, or even pretending that that's possible, they're probably just a snake oil salesman, and I highly doubt that they're actually twin flames themselves. So just use your discernment, and again, learning how to talk to your guides will help you, because if you are interested in buying someone's course, you can use your guides to tell you whether that's the right fit for you and if it's going to help, and blah blah blah. And you can I've even scrolled through, there's one healers that I did like, but I've outgrown them. They had a sale, and I went to my guides and I was like, okay, should I buy any other videos while they have on sale, or webinars or whatever? And they said yes. And I scrolled down and I used my guides, the way I talk to my guides, to buy which ones. And I was actually shocked at which courses they told me to buy. It was different than what I would have thought. But actually it was great, because it showed me where I was in my union trajectory. So that was really cool. And the next myth I want to talk about is that there's a runner and a chaser. Okay. I see this nonstop everywhere, and it's just people who are regurgitating other people's information. And the runner chaser stuff is really mostly come from people who are not authentic twin flames. So again, use your discernment. Most of the way you can tell that is when you look in the groups, all the questions are like, am I the runner or am I the chaser? Well, there's your answer. If you don't understand what that even means, that's your clue that it's not accurate. Again, use your discernment. I see that with a mirroring thing too. People are like, what is it? How does that show up? What's mirroring? And I'll do videos on all these because my take is so different, but you're both the runner and you're the chaser. I see the runner-chaser dynamic, especially the way it's talked about online. I see that more from soulmate or karmic relationships than I do from a twin flame situation. There have been times where I've energetically chased my twin flame, but I've never needed a restraining order. I've never needed, it never gets that far because it's a high level, high vibrational love situation. So there is no runner and chaser. There have been times where I've run from the connection, and I'll definitely do a video on that. But it wasn't that I was really running from him. It was that I thought he'd made his choice, and I was, we were young and brainwashed, thinking society, whatever. I trusted that he knew what was best, and so I avoided the connection, and we definitely avoid each other, but it's not the way they paint the picture of runner and chaser. So if you're using those words and you're saying, oh, my runner DM, my chaser divine feminine, you're bringing actually more separation when you take those labels so hard and you write it online as a question. Even that's actually solidifying it and making those thoughts real. So it's best if you can just realize, just like yin and yang, there's that little black dot and that little white dot. You have both within you. Heal the thing that's chasing, heal the reason you're running. Go and look within. The whole journey is all about looking within and clearing out your own garbage. But the more you're focused on that other guy, that's what's bringing more separation. This gets to my next myth, which is that there's a matrix twin and a spiritual twin. Guess what? Newsflash, again, you're both. You are the matrix twin and the spiritual twin. If you're actually in a twin flame relationship, or I don't want to say relationship, that's the wrong word because it's a situation. It's a connection. Relationship is like the puppy and the kids and the, white picket fence. That's a relationship. What we are in is a twin flame situation and connection. It's a soul connection. It's an energetic connection overall. We merge our chakras with the same energy signature, like I said, and it's palpable. It's and it never ends. You cannot break the twin flame connection. It only actually intensifies, whereas normal relationships go through a series of the first year is like this bubble love phase, and then year 3 you really have to start communicating, and then year 7 there's usually some test. I mean, the science of regular relationships, most people choose to stay in love with that person after 10 years. It's different. This is different. This is just so different. So I don't like the matrix twin and spiritual twin stuff because, again, it's bringing separation. Okay. There's not an unawakened twin and an awakened twin. You're both going to awaken to this and get the term at a different time, maybe. So you might, if you're the divine feminine or something, you might get the term before them. But I guarantee you they already knew this. If you're really a twin flame, this is not your first rodeo. This is not your first incarnation. This is you're more advanced soul than the most of people. And so you probably grew up knowing that things were different than the way they appeared. You were already interested in, astrology and energy. And the first time you heard the word Reiki, you were like, ooh, what's that? Something in you was just stirring. So, if you read the dogma online about twin flames, theoretically, my divine counterpart is the matrix twin because he's married, he's got a kid, He's theoretically the runner because he doesn't actively engage with me. But when we met, a million years ago, 30 years ago, he said the first time we hung out alone, he was like, I think we were brother and sister or husband and wife in a past life. And I was like, yep, that sounds true. I had never, again, this is early 90s. Things were very different in the world in the early 90s. And I always believed in reincarnation for whatever reason. I just like always did. And I always didn't believe in the Catholic upbringing. I was like, no, these people are wrong. Like just from a very young age. So to have somebody say something like that to me really stood out, which is why I remember that he's the one that said it. So he knew back then, 30 years ago, that we had this divine connection. I called it in my journal a soul connection. I didn't need the word twin flame. I didn't even get that until year 26 or something. So again, the more you focus on these labels, even me focusing too much on if you're authentic twin flame, I still need to let that go. I hear it when I listen to my videos that I'm like really hard on people who are not twin flames that call themselves that. And I know that I still have to like unpack that. So anyway, just dropping these labels of you're both the matrix twin and the spiritual twin. I'm doing this content right now and I'm still applying for jobs. Well, that's the matrix side of me thinking that, job is the only way to make money. Well, no, I'm meant to be a communicative healer. Everything in my life has driven me to this point of knowing how, I already know how YouTube works. I already know how to light things, and I've been a photographer for my whole life, so I know how to like do set design and stuff. So yeah, everything's been leading me to this point of being a communicative healer, which is why I've started this channel to make videos that I would want to watch. I watch a lot of twin flame stuff and I can't get through them. They're just so bad. I don't know. I mean, I'm long-winded too, but anyway. So there is no matrix twin and there is no spiritual twin. Again, it's all yin and yang. You're both. So dropping the labels is very important. Okay. But more importantly with that, with the runner chaser, with the other things I've talked about, most of these myths are just being regurgitated online thanks to some really early adopters of the twin flame dogma, and then they're churning it out and teaching people how to start YouTube channels, and they just regurgitate it. I just found another one yesterday that popped up in the algorithm, and they were like, oh, Jeff and Shalia. It's like, no, those are false light beings. Those two are not twin flames, and none of the people on their channel are. If you are an advanced soul, your radar 10 seconds of any of those videos, and I'm like, oh no, this is darkness. So no, those people are not. And their followers, it's basically like a cult, and they just regurgitate and they all start new YouTube channels, which fuels this stuff. So think for yourself, journal for yourself. Even if you disagree with me, write it down in the comments. I'm happy to hear it. I just did another video about angel numbers, because again, everyone says 1111 is like, you're going to meet your twin flame soon. Well, that sounds great and all, but I've seen 1111 for 50 years of my life, and that's never been a harbinger. I don't know how to say that word, of my reunions with my twin flame. I've had 5 or 6. I need to count them. I've had, 5 or 6 reunions in the flesh with my twin flame, and never ahead of time did I see 2222 or 1111 beforehand. Never. That's never happened to me. Your twin flame number, angel number, is very specific to you and your person. So go watch that video, and I'll link to it here, on just the crazy ways. This card jumped out earlier when I was reading my own tarot, and I saved it for this reason. The universe is always helping me, sometimes in unexpected ways. And this is a good example of how your angel numbers are going to haunt you if they're real ones. So watch that angel number video where I talk about twin flame angel numbers. The next myth is that a psychic or tarot reader can confirm someone is your twin flame. Only you will know who your twin flame is. And if you have to ask someone else, you're probably not on this path. You shouldn't need to know from someone else. And psychics and tarot readers, if they aren't already on the path, if they're not in it, they can't tap in that well, because you're actually, if you are a twin flame, you're more advanced soul than them probably. So like, I can like go online and read somebody's question and immediately tap into the energy of the question and know whether they're talking about a soulmate, a karmic, or whatever, which is why I bounce on so many videos. I can't with these people, with their how they met, their twin stories. And part of that is having so much relationship history. I've dated a ton of people. And so, I listen to a lot of the how I met my twin stories, and almost all of them are somebody that I've already dated and gotten over. Like it's a very similar situation to a normal relationship I had, not my twin flame. It's just the dogma online is, the whole point of this video is to myth bust the dogma online about twin flames. So if you have to ask, you're probably not a twin flame. that's the end of that. But definitely if a psychic told you that you are, like I met this tarot reader and he said that his friend told him that he thought he was a twin flame because he looked like the person he was dating. I mean, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's human nature to want to date people that look like you. That's just scientifically proven. So yeah, and there's nothing about him or his relationship that was twin flamey at all. I mean, because I got him talking about it and I asked him a lot of questions and he was like, no, that's just our friend said, oh, maybe it's a twin flame connection. Well, no, that's not it. So the next myth is that anyone who triggers you is your twin flame. I've seen this one and it's a weird one. It's like, no, everyone triggers people. Everyone in your family triggers you, like every relationship. That's the whole point of all of it, is that they're all going to needle you. And we all choose different family members to incarnate with. Usually they're part of our soul group. And it's to teach us certain lessons. So if you have problems with your parents or siblings or a boss or whatever, you've probably danced with that person in many other lives. And that's the whole point of the karmic balance. So those are not twin flames. Like your twin flame triggers you in entirely different ways than the way it comes across online. I'm just going to save that for a whole different video because it's a deep topic. No, it's not. It's an internal trigger also. It's not an external trigger. You have external triggers more with other people. Internally, things come up. Again, it's just a whole topic. I'll do a different video on that because it's definitely worth exploring. Okay, so but this segues me into the next myth that twin flames are toxic relationships. And again, the reason that comes across online is because most of the stuff in the YouTube or in the Facebook groups and in the Quora and Reddit, almost all of those people are not actually twin flames. So they're dealing with normal relationships, which do trigger us to bring out our toxins, and they can be very unhealthy. Again, most of the time, like most twin flames really actually separate, like no contact. For a lot of years of their journey, so that we can go and live all these other lives and do all this other stuff and learn new things, like things we wouldn't be able to do together. So they're not typically a toxic relationship to each other. My person, part of the reason he's always stood out is he's held space for me and been the kindest person that ever broke my heart. Like, and I know he knows that he broke my heart and felt bad about it. Like there was no on purposeness of it. And with a karmic relationship or a soulmate connection, you encourage each other to grow through your mutual baggage. And you do bring out the worst in each other in some ways. That's more of like what normal relationships teach you. So they're not usually toxic. They're not like married people cheating, and the things that I read online are just crazy. And that gets me to the next myth, is that twin flames cheat. No. Again, this isn't our first rodeo. We've had those lives where we were a cheater. No, we're not. We're usually going to take the high road. Most of the time, we're going to take the high road, and we're going to respect the boundaries of somebody else's marriage. Yeah, I mean, this for me, like, again, if you read the dogma online, for me, my twin flame has been married for a while now. And, you know, over the years, every once in a while, I'll, you know, send him a message about whatever, you know, and we've had reasons to stay in touch for the most part. And again, we've had a lot of reunions, so we've rebuilt some of our friendship and stuff. So, but he's married, so I've always respected the boundaries of that marriage. I've never pushed or told him we're twin flames or told him I'm still in love with him. No, I've never done any of that stuff. I'm not told. I wish I had, like, but he's always been in a relationship, so I've always just respected those boundaries. And he does the same for me. So what appears as like running is actually just him holding me at arm's length. And it took me a long time before I realized it's because I actually do threaten the marriage, is the way I eventually interpreted that, is that he holds me at arm's length. It's not a running, it's just, And so getting the term twin flame eventually really reiterated what I already knew to be true in my heart. So, which gets back to that other myth of that you need somebody else to validate this for you. I didn't need that. I didn't even need the term twin flame. I've always known that this was different. Everything I've ever been through has just proven that even more. Every time I see him, it does it more. I don't really need the term, and I got the term like you're 26, and I have a video about that, about how I got the term if you're interested. So the twin flames are not cheaters. That's and also we're here to elevate that. Like, what is cheating anyway? Like, it's an old paradigm. My version of it, as someone who's been around the block and is not a young chicken anymore, is, I mean, there's a lot of varieties of relationships. Just because you're in a physical relationship with somebody doesn't mean it has to be monogamous. It can be, and it's a higher vibration if it is, but there's polyamory, there's open relationships, there's fluidity in relationships, there's again karmic stuff that can happen. Like the best relationship I ever had was with my favorite karmic partner, and he was married. Well, we have a better relationship than him and his wife, and they're finally getting divorced, which is nice. But we were meant to help each other through a time in each other's lives, and we did, and there was nothing toxic about that, in my opinion. So yeah, just rethink that one. But again, we zoom out. If you're a twin flame or another advanced soul, you zoom out and you see these patterns from a very young age, and you just roll your eyes. You're like, oh, no. Most of it's all animal instincts, so we don't do that stuff. Okay, so here's a very controversial myth that I might bust. And, I'm open to being wrong about this one, but this one is it's like the whole core of the twin flames are one soul in two bodies. I personally I'll just say this. I don't enjoy that phrasing because I think it makes it sound like you're missing a piece of yourself when you are whole all by yourself. This is why I have a problem with it. And part of the whole point of being on the twin flame journey is coming into your own inner divinity. I've always hated God, religion, divine, all that stuff. But now that I'm fully awakened and I've seen it, now that I get it better, we are divine. We are part of source, like I was talking about earlier. And with the twin flame dynamic and the longing, you're trying to get the source energy from the other person because they are your energetic match. You vibrationally have the same energy. It's why it feels so good to be in their presence. It's like it's your favorite sweatshirt and sweatpants. Like, there's nothing I like more than just hanging out with my twin flame. It just feels right. It feels like home. And so a lot of the separation journey is to get to a point where you feel that home in yourself without needing that other person. I'm not looking for my connection to the divine through him anymore. And I have a video about that. If you want more information about that, check out my twin flame playlist, because I have, I think it's the one about craving, and I dive into it a little bit more. So I personally don't like the one soul in two bodies. The other reason I don't like that phrasing, even though it's come from some books and stuff that are older, like Plato and, just Sufis, and there's a lot of different entities that have talked about it that way. But the main reason I don't like it is from what I said in the beginning, of that we are all split from source. So technically you and your parents are one soul. Like, if you zoom out big enough, you've got your logos and your monad, and we all come from source energy, and we're all split from source. So I don't love this one, but the main reason I don't love this myth is that of twin flames being one soul in two bodies is because it makes it seem like you're incomplete without this person, and that's not the case. Another big twin flame myth is that the karmic partner is a barrier to overcome and an enemy. So not most, but a lot of tarot readers are reading about what's the karmic doing and what's the divine masculine doing with their karmic and the more energy you put towards the karmic relationship, the more energy your twin flame is going to put towards that relationship. So stop worrying about what the karmic partner is doing. You don't know what they're doing. You don't know if they're happy or not. You don't know. Even if you're reading tarot, and I no judgment, because I've done this too. Sometimes I'll even read my own and check in and see, like, how's that whole thing going? But you really, again, if you're a twin flame, you have an inner knowing. You don't need these other tarot readers or psychics to tell you what's going on over there. And it's not really any of your business, because if they're with that person, they're learning things that they're going to need, and they're working through childhood trauma and baggage and communication skills and learning about sex and all these things. They're learning a whole bunch of things with that person. Think about the karmic partner or their husband, wife, spouse, whatever. Think about that as training wheels. Think about it like that. Those are your person's training wheels. They need to have worked through all that gunk before you are in union. And again, being on this journey for so long, I've shifted my perspective 1,000 times over when it comes to this kind of stuff. So I get the longing, I get the wanting to know, I get the being nosy. I've been there. I don't drink and do social media anymore because that's when I would go check in to see what's going on over there. I've let go of any envy, jealousy. I've had to let go of all of that for that situation, and now I just have gratitude for this person because this person made him a father. I'm glad I didn't have to do that. I don't want kids. So, try to find a different way to look at the karmic partner. They're not a barrier. Yes, your twin flame can stay with them too long after they know that it's over, but I personally believe that the last time I saw my twin flame in person, I think that was why that reunion was triggered. It wasn't for me. It was, I think, for him. I don't really know. It'll be interesting to compare notes later, but I got a sense that he knew that it was not the world's greatest marriage. But no judgment, we all got to get there. Second to last myth is that kissing your twin flame or making love with them causes a Kundalini awakening. That is not true. Your Kundalini awakening, just like your spiritual awakening, is divinely orchestrated and timed. I've been on this journey for 30 years. My whole life, so I'm almost 50, and I've known my twin flame in the flesh for 30 years, and I have yet to have a Kundalini awakening myself. But that's not to say we aren't moving energy around and that other things haven't happened. I mean, when I saw him last, we definitely had some chakras clicking into place, and I've definitely felt energy transfers. That's really the main thing that makes this connection different versus like a traditional relationship. Is the main difference between a false twin flame, which again is another thing I don't believe in. It only comes from people who aren't actually twin flames. But the main thing is it's not a lover relationship. It's an energetic connection, and you share an aura, you share chakras, you share the same energy frequency. So all the metaphysical stuff is like super ramped up and amplified. So I'm not saying that you can't have a Kundalini awakening if you kiss yours. I do know some of the younger twin flames have had more of those kinds of experiences. Mine might be different because I'm one of the first wave twin flames that got incarnated in the 90s. And then there's been 2 other waves that I know of since then. So I'm not saying it can't, but I just think it's a huge myth that like it's going to be explosions of fireworks. And again, that just sounds like a Hollywood movie to me, which is another reason why I reject it. That being said, the astral sex is like off the charts. And I'm going to do a video about that because no one's talking about this. And it's a phase of pre-union that I'm in that I think I'd like my video to be out there for when people are starting to experience it. I just see now why my journey's been so long, I guess is my point. So I think I have some unique angles to bring to the table. So the most important, I think, myth bust, and I still struggle with this because I've gone down the rabbit hole just like everybody else online, is that union is the ultimate goal. That is not true. But more importantly, union with your twin flame is not a real life validated love relationship. That is an old template. And again, if you are a twin flame, you're here to break this old template of married with kids with a white picket fence. Okay. That's not everyone's path. I'm glad I don't have children. I'm dog sitting right now and it's exhausting. Like, I'm just so distracted. My sleep is interrupted. I mean, maybe I'm too selfish because I've been single a long time, but that's the old thing. The old thing is partnering with somebody because the woman, up until the 70s, a woman couldn't even have her own credit card. I have my own house. I have my own credit cards that I travel the world with. Like, rethink what a relationship is. The inner union is really important of balancing out your own inner masculine and feminine which I've had to do since my awakening. I've had to balance those out. I've always run my life from my masculine side. The last 3 to 4 years, I've had to embrace the feminine side and learning all that stuff, being receptive and open and all of that. So the union with self is very important, which is why the name of this YouTube channel is Unification Inside. That alone is going to help you more than anything else. And do I still want to be with this person? Yeah, I guess so. But at this point, I've healed so much that I can, and it's been so long that I can't even really remember what it was that I loved about him. I mean, yeah, at this point, I'm ready to just partner with him to get this channel going. Like, I can't wait to do Q&As and like get him on here and talking about his journey and like what it was like. Like, I just want to compare notes at this point with him. But I know for me personally, my mission is union, which is why it's taken so long. And I know his mission is different. So that's from what I can gather. So just, again, let go of your version of what union is, because every day I see more and more how magical this, and I hate to use a word like that, but how magical this journey is. It's a very strange, wild ride. And as I love to say in my videos, we are not driving the bus. We don't even know where the bus is headed. I guarantee you that your version of union is probably still limiting, and it's going to be so much more amazing than that. So, yeah, I hope this helps with all these myths, myth busting. Most importantly, I'm hoping that it gives you discernment when you are diving into all these twin flame videos online and when you're looking in the groups and stuff. Just use your discernment. A lot of people are just regurgitating each other's information. And then, like I say in almost all my videos, unfortunately, I need to get over this, but, there's just so many non-twins in those groups. And there's also, I'll just add this at the end on discernment, is that there's also dark forces that are actually targeting twins. There are nefarious energies that don't want twin flames to actually be in union. That stuff is very important to learn how to clear, and how to protect your energy, and protect your union and clean it out regularly, like putting on deodorant. You need to like do that a lot, like every day. So not only are you healing your own childhood wounds, you also are learning how to energetically protect your union and yourself and your twin. You can do that for your union, for the both of you. You can clean out their house and their car energetically, their aura. There's a lot of stuff you could do on their behalf. Make sure you're doing it for yourself and also your soul group. Do it for your soul group as well. You can learn that stuff. You can learn from people's courses, but I would go with more like an established spiritual healer versus somebody targeting twin flames. I think that there's just a lot of negative entities that have co-opted the term twin flame, trying to keep us apart. Which is why people spiral. It's like, who's the runner? Who's the chaser? What's the divine masculine doing with their karmic? All the stuff I've been talking about in this video, a lot of this stuff is coming from these dark forces. So, I even protect this YouTube channel and my energy from your energy. Like, I don't know if you've seen the newest Matrix movie, the Resurrections, but at the end, when he's on her motorcycle, that's what he's doing. She is technically the Matrix twin, if you want to call it that. She's on the motorcycle driving them, and he is energetically blocking all the bullets and all the that movie to me felt like a documentary about what being a twin flame is like after awakening. So if you haven't seen, I'm gonna do a whole video just on that video, on that movie, because it really is that. So just protect your energy, please, and use your discernment online. That's the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. And comment. That helps for engagement for me. It helps other twin flames find my channel, which is really important. And if you have a topic you'd like me to dive into more, I would love to hear that as well. Okay, well, this is not an easy journey, so double high five to you that you're making it, because it's a wild ride, I can tell you that. But just remember that you are one with source energy. You are complete on your own. And by the time you get to inner union, you might not really care too much about outer union. which is actually a really freeing and joyful place to be, which I, of course, have a video about that already, about the new phase, the peaceful stage that no one's talking about being a twin flame. It feels really good. All right, cool. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.